We've all listened to an argument where the speaker clearly knows what they want to prove, but the evidence they bring up just doesn't fit. They reach into a bag of facts and pull out completely mismatched puzzle pieces. This is known as the using the wrong reasons fallacy. It occurs when someone attempts to support a claim with reasons that are inappropriate or entirely irrelevant to that specific argument. The error is best understood by looking at the timeline of the thought process. In the related error, drawing the wrong conclusion, an arguer starts with a pile of evidence and accidentally infers the wrong endpoint. But using the wrong reasons happens in reverse. Here, the arguer works completely backward. Because they are already fully convinced of their conclusion, they scramble to find anything that sounds vaguely related to prop it up. This backward workflow breaks the core rule of relevance. It creates a total disconnect between the facts presented and the claim being argued. The most deceptive part of this fallacy is that the evidence used is often factually correct. We see this frequently in targeted tobacco advertising. Consider this specific argument. The claim is that specific population groups should not be targeted by tobacco advertising. The reasons provided are that tobacco causes cancer, it is expensive, and secondhand smoke is offensive. These three statements are demonstrably true, but they are completely irrelevant to the specific regulatory claim about advertising demographics. Proving a restriction on advertising requires totally different legal and ethical evidence than simply stating that smoking is bad for your health. This leads to a second variation of the fallacy, the fake goal. This happens when an arguer assigns an arbitrary, unagreed-upon standard to a subject and then judges the subject for failing to meet it. For example, a critic might argue that a philosophy major is a waste of time because the discipline hasn't solved all of our societal problems since the time of Socrates. This logic fails because philosophy never claimed solving all societal problems as its primary directive. Judging a field by an invented standard is using the wrong reasons. An argument fails if it relies on truths that don't fit the specific claim, or on standards that the subject never claimed to hold. We can see this play out in high-stakes environments, like the political debate surrounding gun control legislation. A common argument against gun control claims the legislation is useless because it will not prevent serious, dedicated criminals from acquiring guns. Pause the video and apply the fake goal concept to this argument. Why does this line of reasoning use the wrong reasons? The critic has assigned an impossible, idealized goal, stopping all serious criminals, to avoid addressing the legislation's actual, limited goals, like reducing accidental killings or domestic homicides. Policy debates are frequently derailed by opponents who assign impossible standards to avoid addressing a program's actual modest benefits. Because the premises in this fallacy are often factually true, attacking the facts themselves often leads to a dead end. To solve the problem, you must attack the relevance. Use a disarming phrase to pivot the conversation. I find that you have an interesting idea, but not for the reasons you give. This allows you to redirect the arguer toward evidence that actually fits their conclusion. To prevent these attacks on your own ideas, state the limited, actual goals of your position up front. This stops a critic from taking a cheap shot based on an invented standard. Remember these three rules. Identify the predetermined claim, check if the reasons map to that specific claim, and always watch out for fake goals. Identifying these logical gaps transforms a bad faith attack into a productive, relevant conversation.